Okay, so in just 20 seconds, we are starting this other topic. Ok, targa e documenti di circolazione del veicolo. Targa e documenti di circolazione del veicolo, which is the driving plates and the documents of the vehicles for the circulation. This is the topic, targa e documenti di circolazione. Let's see the kind of document we are talking about. Every vehicle must have a driving plate. If not, that vehicle, by law, cannot be circulating on the road, front and back. And the targa should be visible in the day and also in the night. That's why every targa has got a light illuminating it. Carta di circolazione is the same as libretto, which we must have in our vehicle. Copertura assicurativa, certificato di contrassegno. What is the meaning? It is the insurance of our vehicle. So every vehicle must have an insurance. If there's no insurance on that vehicle is not allowed to circulate on the road. Is that clear? If there's no insurance on your vehicle can be suspended. And even your driving license, the point on your driving license can be reduced if they catch you without an insurance on your vehicle. The insurance must be kept in the vehicle or on the vehicle. Okay? One of the things we must also have in our vehicle is the triangolo mobile di pericolo. Triangolo mobile di pericolo, with the triangle red, which we must have in our vehicle. And we use it, we position it behind our vehicle in case we stop on a road because our vehicle is faulty at a distance, okay? Either 100 meters distance or 150 meters distance from behind of our vehicle. Intestatario and conducente are two different people. Conducente is who? The driver. Intestatario is the owner of the vehicle. Now we are talking about camion. The same thing applies to cars. So just as I showed you before, that cars must have a driving plate. And here you see that the ash one on the right has the red X, meaning it is wrong for a vehicle to be without a driving plate. Is that clear? Very good. Now, what are they showing us here? Heavy driving license. Every driving license has got or has the audacity or the authority to be used to drive specific vehicles. We have the driving license for motorbike, which is Patente A, or A2 or A1. We have the B, which is used for cars. We have the Patente C or Chikuchi, which is used for articulated vehicles, which is camion, to drive as a professional driver. Okay, so each driving license has a specific vehicle that you can use it to drive. Certificato di proprietà is the certificate or is the documentation that proves the owner of the vehicle. Ricevuta di pagamento della tassa di possesso, which is the receipt that proves that you have made the payment of that vehicle. All these documents are important, but not necessarily to be kept in the vehicle, specifically this one. Do you understand me? Yes or no? Say something in the comment section. Let me know you are alive. Here we are going to see the different kinds of vehicles and their driving and the driving licenses that we can use them to drive. La patente AM, we can get it at the age of 40 years. We can use the AM driving license to drive quadricicli leggeri, vehicles with 4 tires, like a smaller car. Quadricicli leggeri. Ciclomotori a 2 ruote, vehicles with 2 tires. Ciclomotori a 3 ruote, motorbike with 3 tires. And also ciclomotori con motore termico, which is motorbikes with electric engine, not superior than 50 cm3, and ciclomotori with electric engine again, with engine capacity not above 4 kilowatts. These are the things we can use the AM to drive or to have access to. Okay. Do not forget the age that when you have that age, you can access these driving licenses. So it gives you access for vehicles as scooter, okay, or the smaller version of, let me say, motorbike. Very simple. Patente A1. The driving license A1 enables you to drive motorbike with engine capacity up to 125 cm3 with power 11 kilowatt, non superiore a 0.1 kilowatt per kilogrammo. It allows you to drive vehicles with 3 tires with engine not bigger than 15 kilowatt. It allows you to drive agricultural vehicles of the smaller size. La patente di categoria A1, you must be having at least 16 years, okay, before you can access it. You can use that A1 to transport other people if the driver is maggiorenne. If the driver is what? Maggiorenne. And if it is indicated on the Carta di Circolazione, which is on your libretto, that you are allowed or it is allowed to transport another passenger on the motorbike with the Patente A1. With the Patente A1, you can use it to drive also AM vehicles, which is the scooter. Okay, because the A1 is bigger than the AM Patente. These are things you need to memorize. Okay, I understand there are many things, but you must know these things if you want the Patente. With the driving license A2, you can use to drive motorbikes, con o senza carrozzetta, which the one with covering or without covering. Engine capacity up to 35 kilowatt. Rapporto potenza, peso not more than 0.2 kilowatt per kilogram. With the A2, you can have access or you can drive also Patente A1 and AM. You must be 18 years old before you can access A2. Now, A2, when you have been having the A2 for 2 years, when you have been having the A2 for 2 years, after 2 years, you can go directly for the Patente A. Why? Because you have been having the A2 for 2 years or for more than 2 years. So it gives you access to the bigger driving license of motorbike, which is the A. So indirectly with the A, Patente A, you can drive A1, A2, and also AM vehicles. Is that clear? These are things you must memorize. Okay. So here it is. When with the Patente A, of course, we can drive motorbikes, the bigger version. Okay, and the engine capacity has to be superiore, which is above 50 cm3. Sviluppano una velocità superiore a 45 km/h. Speed capacity above 45 km/h. Of course, you must be 24 years old before you can get the A. But like I said before, if you have the A2 for 2 years, it gives you the audacity to access the A, which after you have gotten, after 2 years, you'll be able to have access to the A1, A2, and the AM, because the A is the biggest version driver license for the vehicles, talking about motorbikes, which is vehicles with 2 tires. Okay. Patente di categoria B1. The B1 enables you can go for the B1 when you have at least 16 years. That is when you are 16 years old. When you are 16 years old, you can go for the B1. You can use it to transport a passenger only if the driver is maggiorenne, that is of age. And on the libretto, which is the carta di circolazione, allows the transportation of another person on the B1 vehicle. With the B1, you cannot drive vehicles that are heavier than 400, which is 400 kilogrammi. That is vehicles with 4 tires, not heavier than 400 kilograms. Is that clear? Engine capacity up to not more than 15 kilowatt. That is electric vehicles. It allows you to drive all vehicles with 4 tires, non-leggeri, which is the heavier version of vehicles with 4 tires. It allows you to drive quadricicli, which is vehicles with 4 tires, non-leggeri con manubrio, which is with handle. Manubrio is the handle. Okay, so he's talking about those motorbikes that has 4 tires, or vehicles like a car, a smaller version of a car. That's what the B1 allows you to drive. Do not forget this is B1, so it is not up to the level of the Patente B. Now you are seeing many things on the screen there. All that you need to know for the exams is, with the Patente B, it gives you access to vehicles that are heavy up to 3.5 tons, but not more than 3.5 tons. With the Patente B, I repeat, you can use it to drive vehicles that their weight is exactly up to 3.5 tons and not more than 3.5 tons. Is that clear? Okay. So that is for the Patente B, and of course you must be 18 years old before you can have access to the Patente B. It allows you to drive cars, okay, and also to tow other vehicles. That is the Patente B. The Patente B is bigger than the Patente A, or the A1, or even the AM. So when you go for the B, they will add to the B, they will add the AM to the B driving license. Is that clear? So these are just the other driving licenses, which is the B Concodice Armonizzato 96. Now, this is all that you need to know concerning the B Concodice Armonizzato 96. The driving license B with the code 96 attached to it simply allows you to drive cars or rimorchio, which is not heavier. The complex of both vehicles is not heavier than 4.250 kilograms. 4.250 kilograms. That is all that you need to know, because that is the only question you will be asked at the exams. Okay, that B Concodice Armonizzato 96 abilita la guida di veicoli non superiori a 4.250 kg. That's all. Okay. So what I was saying is that for those of you who are trying to learn from the school books or the books the driving license school gave to you, you are going to find this thing very difficult, because the school book will tell you everything else that also you don't need. Meanwhile, at the exam, they ask only specific questions. So that is what you have to focus on and not other things that are not even needed, that you don't need for your exams. Please, can you still hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? If you can hear me, you understand what I'm saying, just write yes so that I know I have to move forward. The school book that they give, okay, will tell you to listen to know everything. Meanwhile, you don't need to know everything. It's just the essential. The essential. That's all that you need to know. Okay. Let's move forward. So be very careful not to try to learn what is not needed. If not, you'll be wasting even more time learning something that will never appear on the quiz. Lastly, when you watch downwards, we have the BA, the last point. It says, per condurre un autoveicolo di massa massima autorizzata pari a 3.500 kg che traina un rimorchio di massa massima autorizzata di 1.000 kg, è necessario aver conseguito la patente di categoria BA. So with the BA, why BA? Because the BA allows you to drive how much? Vehicles that the capacity is what? What is the capacity of the Patente BA? How much does it allow us to drive? What is the maximum weight? The maximum weight is 7,000 kilograms, which is 7 tons. Okay, so with the BA, we cannot transport vehicles or drive vehicles that are heavier than 7 tons. Meanwhile, with the B, with codice armonizzato 96, we can get to up to 4,000. You remember? 4,250 kilograms, which is what is written on the board. Okay. Let's move forward. Do not forget we are talking about Targa e Documenti di Circolazione, which is driving plate and the document for transportation. Okay. When your driving plate is not positioned well, you have to make sure you fix it by the mechanic or in any way possible. Of course, before circulating on the road, either in front and at the back, which it must be very, very visible. We are not allowed to change the figures of the driving plate. We will be sanctioned. The P is used for those that are called neopatentati, which we must position behind our vehicle behind our vehicle. That is when we are driving as new drivers. Okay, as new drivers. That's when we use the P behind or in front of our vehicle if we are new drivers. Okay. Also, when they are teaching us on the road, normally they are supposed to have the P behind the vehicle, but they don't have it always. The driving license is being taken away from us, which is ritirata, con casi in cui viene ritirata la patente. When we violate the laws on the road, when our driving license is expired, when we do not systemize correctly the load in our vehicle, when we are involved in an accident and we were at fault, and when we were supposed to do revisione of the patente and we did not do the revisione of our driving license or even of our vehicle, they can do what? Ritirata. They can take our driving license away and then give it back to us after a period of time. It's very, very important. These are things you have to actually memorize. Okay. What is revisione della patente? Revisione is done when the police or the motorizzazione is not sure about concerning your psychological abilities and also your way of driving. When they realize they are not sure of leaving you the driving license, they will do revision of the driving license. When they have doubt on your health, and when there is an obligation for you to go for checkup and you do not go for it, when they catch you frequently that you are drunk, they will do what? Revision of your patente. Also, lastly, it says, il conducente che non supera l'esame di revisione della patente subisce la revoca della patente stessa, meaning your driving license can be revoked when you do not pass the revision of your driving license. Okay, it will be revoked. So this is very important. It's no joke that all these things are applied to us so that we know that in this kind of situation in which we are, this is what is going to happen, either revisione or ritiro or sospensione or revoca of the patente. Now, here they talk about revoca della patente, means to revoke our driving license. Our driving license will be revoked when we drive with our driving license when we realize that our driving license is being suspended and we keep driving, what do? They do revoca. When we do reverse or U-turn on the autostrada, when we lose all the requisiti fisici richiesti, they will do what? Revoca. Quando il titolare perde permanente per sempre i requisiti psichici richiesti, meaning when you lose all the psychological abilities, your driving license is being revoked. When you do not pass l'esame di revisione, the last one, your driving license will be revoked. Revoca della patente means they will take it away from you and you will not have access to it anymore. The only way for you to have access to the patente again is to go back to Italian driving school again to do the theory exams and the practical exams again. When such thing happens, the police people will be on your case because you cannot be trusted. That is why your driving license was revoked in the first place, Do you see how things become when you do not comply to simple order? Things get worse. This is Europe. This is not Africa. Let us understand. This is Europe. This is not Africa. Huh? You say you don't do revoca, you don't do revisione, you are moving around. Now, on perdita di punti della patente, it has to deal with when you bypass the speed limit of 10 kilometers, above 10 kilometers per hour. When there is when you keep using the phone and you are driving, when you do not allow the pedestrians to cross the road, when you intentionally hit or use your vehicle to hit someone trying to cross the road. Sospensione della patente. When do they suspend our driver licenses? When the neopatentato, which is the person who's got his driving license within the first 3 years, that person is the one called neopatentato. So the neopatentato drives in a wrong way, they will do what? Suspension of the patente. When you bypass the high speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour above the speed limit, they will do what? Sospensione, which is suspension of your driver license. When you are being caught on the road that you are drunk or there is alcohol in your system, they will do what? Sospensione. When you use your vehicle to hit someone and run away, they will do what? Sospensione. Is that clear? This is one of the topics actually a little bit difficult, but if you can remember, the patente will be yours. The driving license is being confirmed when you are idoneo. That is, psychologically you are idoneo. Idoneo means you are healthy. Okay? So they make sure through the doctors that you are healthy and there's nothing wrong with your health. The last one, it says, la patente di guida di categoria B, salvo diversa limitazione riportata sul documento stesso o salvo allineamento alla data del compleanno del titolare, ha validità di 10 anni se rilasciata o confermata a chi non ha superato i 50 anni di età. Meaning, the driving license category B, apart from other limitations on the document of the person, that driving license will be given to the driver for the length of 10 years. If it is being given to the one or the person who is not above 50 years of age or is not more than 50 years old. Now, when it says ha validità di 5 anni se rilasciata o confermata a chi ha un'età compresa fra i 50 e i 70 anni. So if the person has within 50 and 70 years, from 50 to 70 years, the driving license will be given to the person for 5 years valid. The driving license will be valid for 3 years if the person has from 70 years going to 80 years. It will be given to the person for 3 years validity. The driving license will be given to the driver for 2 years if the person is more than 80 years old. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm telling you? What you see written is exactly how the question is prepared or is being asked in the quiz. Nothing changes. Yeah, these other ones is not even important because it's not even asked in the quiz. So this is the end of the topic of Targa e documenti di circolazione. Is that clear for everyone before we move to the next topic? Okay. Make sure you like the video. Like I said before, for those who were at work and were not present for the teaching that were done in the morning, just send me a message. Okay. Since it's like you people are finding it difficult to send me just a message on a WhatsApp. Okay. Since you are finding it difficult, don't worry. I will send a link in the group after maybe tomorrow when we finish doing all the theory. When we finish doing all the theory, I'll send the link of all the theory that we have done in the group. Not one by one, it will be only one link so that you can have access to it. You have access to it for just 2 days. Okay. Meanwhile, those that have purchased it have access to it until Jesus Christ appears. God bless you. I'll be coming live in just 5 minutes to come. See you in the next live. Ciao, ciao.